Hey guys, this is Angela from We Are Family Homeschoolers, and today's video is going to be all about 12th grade with my oldest child. And in this video we're also going to talk about high school credits on a transcript and how our 11th grade year went, and how that is going to affect my son's senior year. We did experience a medical crisis this year, and we had some setbacks as far as school went, and so I will get into all of that in this video. What you're seeing here on the table are all subjects. We did change some subjects from our original plan. Some subjects didn't get touched last year, and some we're still working on. So let's get into it. Okay, so subjects we are still working on. Actually, before I get into that, let me just tell you what happened last year. So in our 11th grade year, we had a medical crisis that took me, Mom, out of the house for almost 6 months with the new baby. I was in and out of hospitals, children's hospitals, and that left the other 7 children at home with my husband, who was in a state of shock and panic, and working when he could and home with the children the rest of the time. My 16-year-old son stepped up and started taking care of the house and managing the chores and doing the grocery shopping and the meal planning and the laundry, and just looking after the kids and minding routines. I was able to come home a little bit during that almost 6 months. I was gone for a couple months at a time. Then I'd be home for a week or two, and then I was gone for a few weeks at a time. And so that really went on until April. So we did anticipate that. We did school through the summer of his 10th grade school year. We also did school through the summer of his 11th grade school year. So now we are starting 12th grade. We have some subjects that did not get finished. One of them was Spanish 1. Originally, I had planned on getting 2 high school credits for Spanish 1 and 2, and it looks like we're just going to finish strong with Spanish 1, and we're going to have to get our high school credits somewhere else. So we are using Life Pack Spanish by Alpha and Omega Publications, and my son really likes this so far. He has done some computer Spanish programs before, and he much prefers having the CDs and having the workbooks. He needs to put pencil to paper. So this is high school Spanish. This is book 5. There are actually 10 life packs to get you through the year, and so he's about halfway done, and that's what this looks like. I do help him with his test grades, and I do talk to him, and we go over dialogues, and I check on him and make sure he is learning. I do have a degree in Spanish. My husband is also a native Colombian, so we are able to help him if he needs it. Okay, so still working on Spanish. We started doing Ace Pace's biology last year. There are 12 of these books to get through the year. I'm not sure which book this one is in the cycle, but I'll show you what this one, hang on, I got a tripod here I'm dealing with. Okay, so this one seems to be all about the human body and skin and bones, skeletal system. So this is what this looks like. My son does really well with this type of learning where you just read a few pages of information and then you're asked to regurgitate it all with these questions, which is good. That way you can't fall asleep while you're reading, and it works on your instant recall. There are also checkups that happen a few times in this Ace Pace, and then there's a final test, which I will grade with him to make sure he's catching on. So he does take control of his everyday grading. And then I rip out this test for him that's in the middle of the booklet, and I will do that for him when he's finished. Okay, so still working on the ACE PACES biology. Another thing we switched to last year was World History by ACE PACES. This is a very old edition of World History. It's not, you know, the fancy new PACES like you see here. It's all in black and white. It seems to have questions every paragraph or so. And I would not be interested in this, but my son loves it. He wants to just read the information and answer questions and get it done. And there's the test in the middle. Okay, so I think he might be halfway or a little bit more through world history. He's already done American history. I believe that was 10th grade. The plan last year was to get done government and economics, and so for 12th grade he would have a free space where he could add any subject that he wants or any other elective, and of course that didn't get done because of life circumstances. So that means we haven't started yet the civics and constitution curriculum that we bought from Masterbooks. So we will be working on this. And if you need more of a view of it, you can check out my 11th grade curriculum video. This is the textbook. Comes with DVD classes. And here is the teacher's guide, which has all the student worksheets. This is a 9th to 12th grade curriculum. And this is your civics and government right here. It does count for high school credit. And it has your tests and your exams in here. Has your questions. You're going to answer questions as you follow along in the video. And it has your daily schedule right here. So this was on the plan for 11th grade. We didn't get to it because of life, so we're starting it this year. Also, along with that, we did not get to economics. For economics, we're using an All About Money, Business and Economics Fun Schooling Journal by the Thinkin' Tree. Again, I showed this on last year's video. So it asks him questions, and he does research, he reads books, he looks up YouTube videos. In the back of here, it also has him write an essay about COVID and how COVID-19 has affected the economics of the United States. Along with that, we will do Money Wise DVD, which is learning all about budgeting your money and paying your bills and staying out of debt, all from a godly perspective. So I will be actually having all my teenagers watch this video series with me. Along with the economics journal, we have Whatever Happened to Penny Candy. And then I have this bundle from Usborne, Understanding Business, Understanding Politics and Government, and Understanding Money. If you have a child who does not like to read novels, like my son could care less, this kind of information is much better for those kids. It's kind of like a graphic novel. You get the information you need, presented in small chunks in a fun way. And don't forget, there's lots of information on YouTube for that. We did not get to start our 11th grade English, so we will be doing Learning Language Arts Through Literature Gray Book. There's literature included in here. There's every form of language arts included in here. There are book studies included in here, essays, research papers, and editing, all kinds of good stuff. So that goes along with Eric Liddell, A Lantern in Her Hand, Daddy Longlegs, and God's Smuggler. For our high school health credit, we work through Total Health, Choices for a Winning Lifestyle. This is a high school textbook and worthy of a credit. The teacher's book has quizzes and tests in there if you want to do those. We do the quizzes open book style in the end. This is a huge book, So I let my children do 3-4 chapters every year of high school. And so he's in the end of the book, just finishing it up. Again, this is on quite a few of my videos. I even just put out a 9th grade video for my daughter, so you will see, you'll see this book opened in that video as well. So, yep, still working on health, and we're going to finish that up. Okay, now moving on to the new subjects. Okay, for 12th grade science, we are doing Physics 101, and this is by, it's actually called the 101 series. Oops, sorry, didn't see the light there. It's called the 101series.com. So it's a Christian level DVD course from Westfield Studios. It is worthy of high school credit. Here are the videos: physics of light, physics of sound, the physics of heat, the physics of electricity, the physics of motion, the physics of the weird, life of Albert Einstein, relativity, quantum mechanics, the future of physics. We really like this series. So he will be watching a video. You do have to put together a binder, and I just scanned that into my printer and printed that out. So you follow the course accreditation program, and it will tell you exactly how to get in all of your lab hours and all of your assignments. It's getting started, items you need for labs. This is how you keep track of your hours. It will tell you the video segments you watch, what you should be writing in your notebook, what you should be reading, what activities you should be doing, how many hours it should take, how many hours you actually spent doing it, and then parent's signature or initials. And so that's how you keep track of your hours and your lab assignments to make sure that this is an accredited program. Here's a list of labs, which are also on the video. Okay, this is the guidebook and quizzes. So you need this to complete your work. So we have table of contents, and then it will have, for example, this is segment 1, Introduction to Physics. So this is going to recap everything you learned in the video. Discussion questions, you're going to talk it out with your parent. And then a short quiz. And there are answers in the back. Segment 2, so now there's more reading, there's more recap. 3 pages of that, plus discussion questions. A much longer quiz. And that's pretty much how it goes. So you have your 2 to 4 pages of reading to make sure you remember what you saw in the video, and then a good sized quiz. It seems to be multiple choice, but then in a separate notebook you are writing essays. I believe you're doing a little bit of research. You're also writing down what you did for experiments and you know, your conclusions. So that is how Physics 101 works for high school. It is recommended for kids ages 15 and older. As an elective, he was working on guitar, but because we didn't have money to get him guitar lessons, he kind of fizzled out trying to teach himself. So what we decided to do instead was a hymn study for an elective credit. So this is 150 of the world's greatest hymn stories by Robert Morgan. It's called Then Sings My Soul. So how we're going to use this, has a table of contents there. It has a story. It's kind of like a little devotional. Starts with a verse, talks about how the hymn was written, you know, why it's special. Then you'll have the hymn actually printed out, music and all. And then I'm going to have him look up the hymns and practice, listen to them, sing into them. He doesn't really like to sing, but I think it's important for him to at least hear it multiple times and, really learn the content of the lyrics here. So that's how that book works. Or that's how we're going to use it. Okay, moving on. I am going to be giving him a credit in Bible for high school, and that's not just based on what we're doing for Bible this year. It's based on his entire 4 years of high school, what we've done together as a family, and then what he's done on his own for personal studies. So as a family, we're going to be going through Culture Shock by Chip Ingram. Actually, just my teenagers, not my little kids. And I'll give you a quick glimpse into these hard topics, very controversial topics. So whatever happened to right and wrong, the search for truth about sex, what do you say to a gay friend, understanding abortion today, the church and the environment, and the church and politics. I actually did this study before with my church, so this is not a teacher's guide. This is just a regular guide for watching the videos and talking things through. So we're basically going to watch the videos together and talk about it and look up scripture, and that's how we're going to do that. Another thing we're going through is Don't Check Your Brains at the Door by Josh McDowell and Bob Hostetler. I also went through this book when I was a teenager. It has been reprinted since then. It's all about, myths about God, myths about Jesus, myths about the Bible, myths about the resurrection, myths about religion and Christianity, myths about life and happiness. And it goes through these, myths in a very fun way. So they're short lessons. It'll start off with, a little dialogue or a story. Let's say like somebody's arguing with you about something, and these are their points of view, and then what does the Bible say about that? So whenever we get to the brain food section, we look up all these verses and we talk about, what's true, what's fact, what's fiction. And my kids really like this. It's helping them to know what we believe and understand what we believe and search for truth. I'd say this is good for apologetics, understanding what you believe and being able to defend it. Don't check your brains at the door. It's kind of, I explain it to my kids. You go to a friend's house, you don't take your brain out and, put it in the shoe basket or the coat rack and do whatever they do and think whatever they think and share their opinions. No, you keep your brain with you and you keep discernment with you, and, you judge what's going on, and is that right for you? Is that what God would agree with? So, be smart. Okay, along with that, we are reading through the Bible. I'm not sure if we're going in chronological order or if we're just going in order of the books of the Bible. I let the kids decide. And then for his personal studies, he's doing Dare to Be a Man of God by Michaela Vincent. And he will do this 1 day a week. And there's a table of contents here. So this one concentrates on your personal relationship with God. So there is a prayer journal that you can buy to go along with this. I did not buy that. And it says, warning, the information on these pages may change the course of your life. Before you read any further, pray. God, open my eyes to see what you want me to see, to hear your voice, to know you more, to walk in your ways, and to become like you. So this is how it works. It's like a 1-page lesson. Starts off with some examples of what's happening in life, and then biblically, how do we deal with those issues, verses to look up, questions to answer, get in the habit of praying, and that's it. It's just 2 pages. Every 2 pages is its own lesson. So, okay, moving on. Our last subject to talk about is math. And we have been a Math You See family for years. And then because of life circumstances, my son felt like there's just no way he can complete all the math he needs for high school if he has to do a whole entire year on one topic. Now, we were working through Math You See at a faster pace. As soon as he caught on to the concept, we would get the week done in 3 to 4 days instead of spending 7 days on it. And still couldn't get caught up. Like I said, last year we spent almost 6 months in crisis mode. And so I've decided to go with the Learn Math Fast system. And so they say there's actually 7 volumes here. I packed away the first volume and forgot where I put it. So you can go through all 7 volumes of math. It takes you from 2nd grade skills all the way up through high school geometry in the time span of a year. There's no fluff here. You get right to business. And if you fail the worksheet or the quiz, then you don't move on. So this is volume 2. It's all about fractions, decimals, and percentages. We don't write in the books so that I can use them for other children. So here is an example of a worksheet. And there are answers in the back of the book. A chapter review test. And this is what a lesson looks like. So it's no fuss, it's straight to it. Explanations, how to solve the problem, why you would ever have problems like these in life to solve in the first place. So it's actually quite a long lesson, but the words are big. It's an easy read. And then you get to the worksheets. And if you can't answer these questions correctly, you go through the lesson again. So make sure you understand it before you move on. Okay, book 3 is pre-algebra. Book 4 is basic geometry, which comes with this kit of manipulatives. Book 5 is Algebra 1. Okay. Book 6 is Applications of Algebra. Does have final tests in here. Okay. And then finally, the last book, book 7, is High School Geometry. So what we've been doing is we've been given a passcode. So we go online to Learn Math Fast, and we put in our passcode, and we can print out the worksheets for free, so we don't have to make copies out of the book. And then that's how he gets his worksheets done. He keeps them in a binder. And that way we can save these books for other kids. If they reach a point where they just need to catch up, or they're just not understanding the curriculum and they need to be taught in a different way. Sometimes kids get tripped up by wording. I do use teaching textbooks on a lot of my kids, which I love, because when you're homeschooling 7, you can't be everyone's math tutor. The little kids, of course, all do math with me. And so that is the plan to finish up high school maths, is to use Learn Math Fast. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and discuss how 12th grade is going to look a little bit different, and what kind of credits we're going to get out of our high school year. Okay, so I have been keeping notes on a transcript template ever since ninth grade. And so what we have come up with so far is he will get his 4 credits in language arts, so classical literature, composition, English 1, 2, and 3. He will get his 3 credits for history, so there's American history, world history, government, and economics. He will get 4 credits in science, biology, chemistry, physics, and applied engineering. He will get his high school math credits, and I believe you can count computer science for math. I'm not sure. If not, we'll stick that under electives. He will also get a credit for PE, which we are specifically doing martial arts. He will get 1 credit for foreign language because we're doing Spanish 1. He gets a credit for home economics, not because we went through a course, which we were going to go through a course, but simply because he spent almost 6 months of the year taking care of the home, running the household, managing the children, while his father and I were dealing with a very sick baby. He will get a credit in film because he has established a YouTube channel for, it'll be 5 years probably by the time he graduates. That's also where he's getting a computer science credit. He's getting a credit in Bible, a credit for hymn study, and for health and fine art. He's very devoted to his drawings, and he's come very far in the last few years. He gets a credit for driver's ed. He gets a credit for speech. Again, pulling speech from his YouTube channel, where he has spent years perfecting what he says and expanding his vocabulary and trying to deliver a smooth transition when he's talking about things and creating his content. And he's also getting credit for carpentry work study. He's been working with my husband on and off throughout his whole high school term and learning quite a bit in the carpentry area, increasing his skills. So that comes out about to around 26, 27 credits. I have to do a little bit more research to see if some of those credits might be half credits. So I will definitely get all that looked into. And also, we are going to probably take, most likely, 3 semesters to finish 12th grade because we had a hard 11th grade year and he's got a lot of work to finish. He has also taken on a job. So doing martial arts and working consumes every night of his week. He does youth group on Fridays, and he might have Saturday and of course always Sundays nights off. He does work Saturdays. So he's a busy guy, and we don't need him graduating at 17. Of course, if he got all of his work done, we would let him, but he actually turns 18 next fall. So if he takes 3 semesters to finish 12th grade, there won't be so much stress on him, and he will be done when he's 18, which I think is a good time. And then, we can be flexible and throw his graduation party in the fall, or we could throw it the next spring. It doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal to us. We don't tend to get hung up on those things. We don't have to run our education like the public school system. So because he's also never been in public school, he doesn't really care what everybody else is doing. So that's good. Okay, that is our plan for finishing up 12th grade and moving on with life. I do not know if he is college bound. He really wants to get into the filmmaking business profession. So we will see. Maybe he will start a film apprenticeship, or maybe he will go to college, or maybe he'll go to trade school. We have no clue. We're going to let him pursue his passions and become the man he wants to be. So, all right, I hope this was helpful and that you can take something from this. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.